Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky, and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I'd like to do today is introduce y'all to how to write a beauty supplies and cosmetic business plan. Specifically, I want to go ahead and show y'all some tips and tricks on writing a well constructed and well documented business plan for your beauty supply and cosmetic business. All right, so without further ado, let me go ahead and walk you all through my little PowerPoint presentation that I have. It's probably not going to be fun and exciting, but I think you'll definitely find it most educational. All right, so first and foremost, a little bit about me, then we're going to talk about your business and your cosmetic business, your beauty supply business, and how to write a documented and constructed business plan. So first and foremost, I am a professional writer, a business plan writer. So if y'all want to avoid the fun and excitement and the personal growth of writing your own business plan, please pick up the phone, give me a call, send me a text. I'd be delighted to go ahead and take care of that issue for you. Also, if you do want to go ahead and go down the path of writing your own business plan, more power to you, 2 thumbs up. Please let me be your guide through the use of my books. So just mosey on over to Amazon.com, put in my name in the search bar, Paul Borosky, throw 3 letters behind it, preferably an M, a B, and an A. And once you do that, my various books are going to pop up. You'll be able to select one that meets your needs, and now you have a guide. And finally, my professional experience. I am an adjunct professor and subject matter expert for both business and finance. So if you do need some financial projections done, again, I am not a fashion model, but I am definitely a financial projection modeler. So if you need some projections, pick up the phone again, give me a call, love to help. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about your cosmetic business, your beauty supply business. So when you're writing your company description, tip number 1 is going to be to include a competitive advantage section. Now, most organizations, for their competitive advantage section, they're going to talk about what their organization is going to do to gain market share. You might have a prime location if you're a retailer, or you might have an extensive product supply or extensive product line as a manufacturer. And those are good competitive advantages, and that should be included in your business plan. However, what I recommend to my clients is to search a little bit deeper. What is a core competency? And a core competency is something that you do better than everybody else, and it's hard to duplicate. For example, a manufacturer, a beauty supply manufacturer, might have an extensive research and development department. So if that's the case, then use a core competency as a competitive advantage. And finally, even better than a core competency to include in your competitive advantage section would be a distinctive competence. A distinctive competence is something unique to your organization that nobody else has. You're not doing it better than everybody else because nobody else is doing it. An example of this would be that you have waterproof cosmetics that doesn't bleed, for however long, I don't know. But that would be a distinctive competence, and in your competitive advantage section, I would lead with a distinctive competence and then follow that up with maybe some core competencies and some competitive advantages after that. List no more than 3, maybe 4 competitive advantages, which could include your distinctive competence or your core competencies. All right, tip number 2, industry research. Too many times I get on the phone with a entrepreneur, whether it be in the cosmetic industry, whether it be in the beauty care or beauty supply industry, or any other industry for that matter. What they love to do is they love to talk about competition. They love to talk about the global competitors or the industry leaders, which is fantastic. And then they'll inevitably compare their business with those much larger entities. And, sometimes it gets daunting and overwhelming, and they get a little bit intimidated. What I like to do when I do research for a business, whether it's in the cosmetic industry or a different industry, I'm always going to refer to industry magazines. I'm going to go to associations that have statistics on national and global trends that's happening in the beauty supply and the cosmetic market. Once I'm done with that, I will then go to competitors in the area or on a national or global scale, and I'm going to identify which competitors are in tune with the industry trends. who are in tune with the customer trends. Once I identify which competitors, and there's always only one or two, just a few, once I identify those competitors, I'm then going to go ahead and do my competitor analysis based on those competitors. So make sure when you do your, so in summary, make sure when you do your industry research, follow a proven format, do your national and your national and your global research first, and then identify competitors that are aligned with the trends, and then do your research, your competitor research on those individuals. All right, tip number 3, advertising. Oh my, do beauty supply business owners and manufacturers, do they do a wonderful job advertising? And they advertise on social media, and they'll advertise on their websites, and they really push word of mouth advertising. And I mean, they do a phenomenal job with that, and it never fails to impress me how well they do. The only challenge that I've seen with some beauty care manufacturers and retailers is that there is not a consistent message across all advertising channels. In the social media, they might be, really pushing their, the best-selling products on their website. They're going to have every one of their products, and then word of mouth, they might tend to just talk about their favorite products. There's no consistency, and when you lack consistency like that, you miss out the opportunity to really push your theme. Some themes are natural, some themes are products from East Europe, or they're traditional Asian remedies or something like that. You're missing out on that opportunity to really push your theme when you don't have a coherent message. So when you're doing your advertising, tip number 3 is make sure you have a coherent message that's focused on a theme, and really push that theme, really push that brand. Because when you have brand recognition, then your products are going to move. At least this is based on the findings that I've seen. Next is going to be funding requests. Whether you're a startup or you're looking for expansion, you're going to need a little bit of money. When you're doing your funding requests, follow a specific structure that I have found works pretty darn good. So when you're doing your funding request, in your in that document, in the first 2 lines, make sure to identify specifically a dollar amount that you need to expand or to start your operations. Once you identify that dollar amount, then the next section of your funding request, make sure to break it into categories of where the money is going to be spent. It might be startup cost, it might be purchasing inventory, it might be training, it might be research and development, it might be advertising. Use general categories. Don't get too specific. I don't want to know 3 cases of hair care from wherever, and 2 cases of nail care from another source. Don't get too specific. Just make sure you put inventory and then a dollar amount, advertising and then a dollar amount. That way the reader of the document is going to understand where the money is going to go, but you're also not locking yourself in to a specific dollar amount for specific items. So it's categorized, and it's enough information for the reader to know where the money's going, but not so specific that you're locking yourself into a real tight budget. And finally, when you do that categorization, at the bottom of the document, total up all the categories, and that total dollar amount should be identical to what you listed in your first 2 sentences on the document. And then tip number 5, a little bit of financial projections, a little bit of money. How are we going to make money? How are we going to keep this organization afloat? What are our projections? Well, this little structure right here that I've concocted is broken up to 3 categories that's going to help you, build just a really basic financial model to give you an idea of what your profits are going to be for the month. So the first section, the way it starts, is to identify what are your main categories for products that you're going to be selling. Is it skincare? Is it health, hair care? And then your catch-all miscellaneous. And then what you're going to do is you're going to identify average prices. You think your average price for skincare might be $39.99. Hair care might be $19.99. And once you identify that, then I also identify average variable cost, whether it be $7.50 or $3.50, but in this example is $7.50. Once you identify your variable cost, subtract your variable cost from your sales price, and that's going to give you what's called a gross profit. Once you have your gross profit, multiply that gross profit by the number of items you think you're going to sell in the first day. That's going to give you your total gross profits. You are going to do that for each line item each item that you think you're going to sell for the first day. Once you're complete with that, then you're going to total up all the items into a total gross profit for the month. For the day. Then you're going to multiply however many days you're going to be open. If you're a retailer, you might be open 30 days. If you're a wholesaler or a manufacturer, you only might be open 5 days a week, would be approximately 20 to 21 days a week, 20 to 22 days in the month. So whatever that number is, you're going to put it here. Then you're going to multiply the days of the month by the total gross profits, and it's going to give you your monthly gross profits. The monthly gross profit number is then going to go all the way down here into your section number 3. And you'll see how this number right here is identical to that number. Then what you're going to do is you're going to do your monthly fixed cost. Identify what you're going to have to spend on average monthly. You might have a loan payment of $950. You might have to resupply your inventory of $5,000 a month. Your labor might cost you $7,500. Your marketing should be expensive. It might run you $5,000. Your legal, your accounting might be $250. Whatever it is, go ahead and make a list of your monthly fixed costs and total it at the bottom. Once you're done with this section 2, take this total for the monthly fixed cost and plug it in right here. Again, we're working this section number 3. And once we're done with that, we are now done with section number 2. Your final section, your only thing you're going to do here is you're going to take your monthly cost, you're going to subtract that from your monthly gross profits, and voila, you now have net profits for the month. Once you have this structure set, not only do you know if you're going to be making a profit or not for the month, but you also now have a structure that you can start changing around your sales price. You can start changing around your variable cost. You can start changing around the number of items sold. And once you start making these changes, you're going to be able to see what's going to happen to your net profits. So now you've got a basic model that's going to be able to help you identify important price points for your products. All right. And finally, the summary. So in summary, make sure to follow a proven format. Don't go out there and just get a business plan, a general business plan template. Those general business plan templates are meant for restaurants and manufacturers, as well as for retailers. And when you do that, you don't know what information is aligned with being a restaurant or being a computer software company, and what information you need, what information you don't need. You're going to have a hard time identifying that when you're using a general template. And you can definitely, go through that template and then, start researching every one of the terms and then, thinking about if it's going to be applicable to your organization or not. When you're doing that, that's a lot of time, a lot of aggravation, a lot of stress, a lot of frustration that you really don't need. So make sure to use a template that is aligned with the beauty supplies and cosmetics, whether it be retail or whether it be a manufacturer. If you can't find one, contact me. I'd be delighted to go ahead and provide one to you. Of course, there is a charge for that service. Also, make sure to keep the star of the show as the business. Beauty care and cosmetic business owners, they have a great backstory. Almost every one of them has a great backstory. There's a story to it. There's a story to the products. There's a theme, and they're really good with advertising, and they're really good with pushing their products and their services. Only problem is they do so well at that, they forget to balance that information with the target market, balance that information with the financials, balance that information with the how the organization is going to operate and the location information. So make sure to keep the star of the show as the business and make sure it's balanced. Don't go overboard in one section, because when you do, it's going to be top heavy and inevitably it's going to start sounding like an advertising piece, and that's not what a business plan is. It's not an advertising piece. It's to help the reader understand how your business is going to operate, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, and when you're going to do it. And finally, if you need some help with your business plan, with your financial projections, pick up the phone, give me a call, send me a text. Be delighted to help. So if y'all want some more information on how to write up your beauty supplies and cosmetics business plan, just visit my website at qualitybusinessplan.com, how to write a beauty supplies and cosmetic business plan. And once there, I do have some more tips and tricks on how to write each section of the business plan. And finally, if y'all want just a general guide, a more in-depth information to each component of the business plan, just mosey on over to www.amazon.com/author/Paul Borosky. And once you get there, you'll have just a bunch of different opportunities to purchase some business plan writing books. So hopefully this video was helpful, informative, maybe not so exciting, but you did walk away knowing more now than you knew before. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you need some assistance, contact me. And regardless, have a fantastic day. Thank you very much.